Hey guys, welcome back to Genius Learning. So I want to continue building on what we can do with the spheres and how we can represent them. So in the previous example, I showed how a solid sphere can be broken up in the middle and we can see the inside. And I want to do that, but I want to do it with two layers. So let me show you. So sometimes in physics, we have two concentric spheres like this, like a solid little sphere and then a bigger sphere on the outside. And they have two different radiuses, right? And so I want to show how you can see this in a couple different ways. Let's try a 2D example right here. So let's do our spheres like in the previous videos. So we're gonna have, let's see, we have a sphere, all right? And then we have a sphere on the inside. So this is gonna be a 2D view, okay? So we have a sphere within a sphere, but this is gonna be a 2D view. So what I wanna do is break up this outside, okay? So this half kind of looks like a big C, all right? You can just do a bunch of lines, doesn't matter. Okay, this half, I'm gonna just do maybe some lines going like this in one direction. All right, a little bit uniform, nothing too perfect, okay? And then for the other half, all right, let's do, let's see, I don't know, swirls. Let's just do swirls inside here. All right, let's fill up all the space with some scribbles, okay? And then I wanna do a dotted line to outline it. So dotted, 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 all the way around. So they don't have to be perfect. Dotted here, okay, and let's dot this inside, let's dot this. All right, so this side we have swirls, scribbles, all right? And then this side we have straight lines, okay? And then the middle is an entirely other thing. So we're gonna do lines going down, maybe a little darker. Okay, this is the line in the middle. This is the dot in the middle. Okay, so what we have here, let's say we have a sphere within a bigger sphere, but this is a 2D view. And what we have here is this left side, right, is like this. Like the shaded part, this whole hemisphere is something different in material than the right side. That's why this one's different and this one's like this. So in E&M, electromagnetism, these two could be dielectrics. So let's say I label it E1 and this side E2. You know, it doesn't mean anything right now, but this is a different material than this one. All right, so it could be air and this could be copper, or like just, they're two different materials and it looks like this in 3D, which I'm about to show, but this inside here is a solid little sphere, right? And it is, let's say, hollow, right? So it's hollow and maybe it has like a positive plus charge coming from the center. You know, just trying to show that the center is actually something different from both of these as well. So we have three different things going on here, okay? Now let's move over to a 3D view. I think this one will be helpful because this is sometimes confusing. So knowing how to draw these spheres is very beneficial sometimes. So now let's draw a sphere within a sphere, okay? We have, let's do our bigger circle, okay, the average of them, or do a smaller circle, try to find the middle, okay? And let's do the rings around the center one, the middle one. So I'm just gonna do that, bring them down. So these are all in the previous videos, how to do these smaller circles and the bigger ones within it. So this is gonna be more spread out, like that, like that, like that. Do the back one behind the sphere, okay? And then the ones going down, 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 down. All right, shade this a little bit darker on this side. Okay, we got the front, and then the back. Okay, so we have a sphere within a sphere, right? And so what this is saying or looks like is this half is a different material. So the outside sphere, right, has two different sides. Let's distinguish that. The middle is the same. So this little inside one could stay the same. I'm gonna shade one side darker, like we've done before, right? Maybe do a little dotted line just to kind of outline it. Maybe do this. Okay. Right? The center, the middle, the smaller sphere stays the same. Okay? What's different is the outside one. So there's two different sides, and let's distinguish them. So from the center, let's say here, right, going up is the z-axis, right? I'm gonna put a dotted line all the way through the sphere, all the way through. All right, so I'm gonna draw on the left side a solid line going from this dot to this dot, like this, like that seed shape that we did here, kind of like oval, right? And then a dotted line on the other side, the same exact way. Let's go behind the sphere here. So the same curve here is the same curve with dotted line here, all right? And from one side to the other, I just want to draw some, you know, light lines. Let's go behind the sphere, don't draw on the sphere. And then again, just some light lines from one side to the other, okay? Let's outline this left side, the outside only, right? And let's show E1, right? Let's put E1, let's say we put it there, okay? Let's show this side, right, is these type of lines. In each box, let's draw some straight lines, go around the E, right? So we're just gonna draw some straight lines like this, and maybe we can even do lines going in the opposite direction like this, just to make it more distinguished, right? So just lines crossing each other, because we also want to show that this flat part is different from the shell, okay? So this inside part here, right, is this entire light part, and the shell, the outside here, is all of this. Okay, now I distinguished the left side. Now let me do the right side. The right side is these squigglies, and let's say this is E2 on the outside, right? So maybe I want to do some like this, scribbles everywhere, not on the inside here, right? So first let's scribble here, and then I'm gonna scribble lightly, not touching the inside sphere ever. So scribble lightly up here, scribble lightly up here, okay? Outline this side here, the E2, okay? And then maybe we want to come down with some lines like this, and all the way around, uniting both sides. Okay, so without color, it's kind of hard to tell that this entire side, right, is one thing, and then E1 is another, while the inside here is yet another solid sphere. So that's why I like the third representation I'm about to do, because it kind of brings all of these two concepts together, and visually I feel like, you know, you can really understand what's going on. And when I do it with color in the next couple videos, it'll be even better to visualize. So with pencil it's kind of hard, but I think that you should start with that first. All right, so now the third representation from these two is going to be splitting it open. All right, my favorite one, 2D, 3D, and we'll call this one the lemon view. I'm gonna cut lemon. So we're gonna do two separate halves like this, right? What we're gonna do is from this center here, E1, we're just gonna open it up, right? From here, boom. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw an oval. I'm gonna draw dark on one side like this, And we already went through this in the previous video, so I'm gonna do it a little fast. We're gonna go dark on one side, dotted line on the other, right? And this is gonna be the center. And over here, so right next to it, kind of measuring the same height from here down to, let's say about here. I'm gonna do a solid line on the left side, on the right side. So here, the solid line was on the left side. Here, the solid line is on the right side. All right, and then the dotted line is on the left inside. And let's say this is the center, okay? So now, let's draw half and another half on this side. Okay, so again, you can do the circles if you're not comfortable just doing a half. Maybe I'll do it with you. So from here to here, let's try to draw a circle that touches that. And from here to here, so in the previous video, I show why we're doing the two circles. And then erase everything in the middle. So erase the shaded, the light line you just made, not the dotted line. So there we go. Maybe erase a little bit down here. Okay, so now outline it. Right, you can just do a couple lines to outline it. Outline this side. Okay, now let's do the smaller sphere that's inside before we do anything else. So just like I did this curve and the dotted curve, I'm gonna do a smaller one in here. So from this dot up, I wanna make sure it's the same as this dot down. So let's do solid line coming down this side, just like we did for the top, and then dotted line on the right side. So the same thing. And then here, I wanna make sure that this distance is the same as this distance, and that these coincide right here. Okay, so I'm gonna follow what I did here. I'm gonna do solid on the right, so solid here, and then dotted line on the left side. Okay, then I'm gonna do the exact same thing I did here. Okay, from here to here, I want little circles. Okay, really what I want is to extend the back part, right? So I did a circle just to show for this example, but I need to erase the lines in front because I'm only interested in half of it, right? The left side. So when I outline it, maybe it'll be clear. Solid line from here to the curve, from here to the curve, solid line, and then dotted line to outline the curve, okay? So from here, I'm just gonna do a half. I'm gonna do, let's say, I practiced the half lightly. I like it, so now let's outline it. I got solid from here to here, solid from here to here, and then dotted from here to here. Okay, this inside here is just dotted. Okay, so now let's shade the inside sphere dark. So let's put some shading like this, some rings that go from one side to the other, and then from the top downward like we've done in the previous videos. So from one side to the other, right? And then from the top downward, okay? Just like that. So inside here should be maybe a little bit shadier, maybe a little bit darker. This area in here, you can just kind of shade that part. All right, now let's work on the outside. So when we split it open, let's show the inside of the lemon, or let's show what we cut, and let's see what the inside is. We're gonna show that by doing these nice symmetrical lines that go from one side to the other, like that. All right, and from this curve, they're gonna go straight back like this. Okay, and this line connects with that line, this line connects with that line. That's the idea here, that it goes away from the center of this smaller sphere. This line connects with this line goes all the way, all the way, all the way. And here we got this this. Okay, we want to do the same thing here, so the same direction, everything. Here, this line connects with this one. Solid here, solid here, solid here, over here. So from the from this edge and this edge, solid, this one and this one can go all the way through. Perfect. Okay, let's see. Let's make these dotted lines a little bit darker. Okay, and then this curve, just keep it nice and dark. All right, so now, last thing, okay? Let's, actually before the last thing, let's do a little bit of shading where the dotted line is at, just to show that it's the back of what we're looking at. So we're gonna shade this dotted line a little bit, just like that. Very unorganized, very just, you know, kind of freely, just shade it a little bit, that's it, that's fine. And then here, this corner, shade it a little bit like that, shade this corner a little bit like that, that's it. This corner a little bit, and this corner a little bit. Okay, now we can go. Just give it more of a depth effect. And so now, again, like the other example, I'm gonna do from here, let's do symmetric kind of curves going down to here. These are solid lines, solid right through that other, right through the bottom part. Okay, and then solid here. So here's solid, 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 and then curve this way, curve this way, curve this way. I want to do the rings just like we've been doing for the other spheres. Okay, like this. And then here, the same thing. Okay. Now, if I had color, which I will in the next videos, I'm going to show that this one is E1 and this one is E2. So now you can see that I took this 2D figure, right, where one side of the dielectric is some constant and the other side is another, but in the middle it might be hollow or there might be a sphere. And so looking at it in 3D, I see that there's something in the middle, right, like a cavity where there's nothing, or a solid sphere. And then the outside is made up of two sides where you got this one side divided by, this is like the dividing plane in the middle, this right side hemisphere, that's all E2. Then another view is to take this, break it open, and this is what we get. So here, opening it up, we get this, where we have the same E1 on this side, E2 on this side. Now we've even cut open this inside sphere, right, to expose the inside of that. And now we can clearly see that there's something in here, and there's two sides that represent two different values, and they're different materials. Here we can even do, let's say from here to here, this distance was A, so we can clearly show that. And then let's say this distance from here all the way to the edge of the outer one is B. We can clearly show that. And then for this side, let's say we want to keep it with the coordinate system where it just goes straight up, solid line coming out of here, that's the Z. And then one that goes straight horizontal, solid, Y hat. And we could do the Z, I mean we could do the X hat coming out from this side, maybe like that. I don't really like doing the X hat, but I'll just do the X just for the video. I kind of just leave it with the Z and the Y. Okay, so this is the 3D view. Now I'm gonna add some color to show how you can make this example pop even more. So before the color, let's do a little bit more shading on the outside, just one more piece. So again, if you want, you can use your finger, shade this left side, only the left side, shade this right side, all right? And then make the edge darker. So this line here, this line, and this line maybe, and then just halfway going down. Like like that. And then the same thing here. Make the cap darker. Some of these lines, make them darker going down. And then this curve here, 1, 2, okay? Maybe erase some of this extra that we did with our finger. And there you have definitely a nice 3D view of what's going on there. All right, so let's add some color and see how we can make this pop and be distinguishable from each other. All right, thank you guys.